I was doing a little bit of research on Mineral Springs when I was searching on Google this morning, looking for a trail to explore. And the history is brief, but basically what this place is, it's a little town that's been around since, way back in the day, since like the 1800s. And then it sort of turned into a little bit of nothing. It wasn't until 1999, that's only, 2022, this is the first day of 2022, 23 years ago, that this place reincorporated. From what I can understand, basically everyone around here just didn't want the city life encroaching upon their rural, beautiful little piece of nature here. So there's just something special about this place in the early morning like this, when everything's coming to life. It's a nice little shot of the river. I love when it's like surrounded with moss like that. It kind of, draws a nice clear line around the water's edge. Is this right here literally a thing that people would tie their horses up to? Maybe people do horseback ride out here. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. To answer my question about the horses, apparently there is horses, but they're not allowed to cross this bridge. Whoa. Yikes. Well, that was my first official test of my waterproof shoes, and they worked. Success! And it looks like we found the creek again. Go ahead.
There you go.
Have I properly introduced my dog, Ralphie? This is my little partner in crime here. Let's go, buddy. It looks like that way goes towards picnic tables, and that way continues on into a more beautiful place, so I think we're gonna go this way. But first, we'll take advantage of a little bench here. See the Douglas Bittner Eagle Scout Project. Okay. Thank you, Eagle Scouts, for this beautiful view. What I like most about these nature walks is that you can really kind of play with your imagination, or you can let a better way to say it is you can let your imagination play with you. Let the moment speak to you rather than you trying to control the next moment. Does that make any sense? When you can really do that, then life's just constantly throwing beautiful experiences at you. My friends Jim the hiker, Orville the cyclist, and Freddie the horse rider. Apparently they're straight ahead as well. One day I really do expect a fairy to pop out of one of these trees and wave at me, or maybe even at first just give me a little, what was that? Once you've immersed yourself into nature and you've just sort of, successfully let go of your senses and just allowed, I think of it as your mind just opening up, just allowing, everything to kind of, float into it. All of a sudden, everything seems to be, speaking to you. If you allow yourself to let go of your senses and really let it speak to you, it will. And the only way to really experience what I'm talking about is to get out here and to experience it for yourself. So if I haven't said it in this video yet, what I did to find this place is I just looked on Google for trails near me. And that's how I landed here this morning. The hard part was just getting my butt up and getting in my car and driving down here and being willing to experience it. But it was worth it. Ever since I was a young child, I was always being told what to believe. I was being told, how God was and how to experience, God in a very specific, time-tested way through the church and things like that. And it wasn't until I just really sort of let go of all that stuff and I decided that I was going to experience God myself. And rather than trying to figure out the how-tos of all of that, it became more of just an adventure, just getting out and literally experiencing God for myself. For me, what worked is getting out here into nature and just listening. And when you stop and you look up and you just pay attention to the moment that you're in right now, and you realize that you're in the middle of nature on the first day of January in 2022, you'll get that sense of that sense of knowing. You'll get that sense of security that you're in the exact right place. You're exactly where you should be. And no joke, sometimes I wonder if I'm dead and this is just my afterlife, me wandering around in the woods out here. I had to take my hoodie off because it was getting a little too warm. It's learning to just say who cares, I want to go explore a nature trail, but that's going to take a few hours and I've got all this stuff to do today. Who cares? Learning to follow your feelings, learning to follow your gut, learning to just do what feels good and trust that it's going to continue feeling even better when you do that. That's the secret to really falling in love with yourself. And that's what this is all about. It's about falling in love with yourself. And the trail's obviously getting a little bit mucky and muddy here. But hey, I may not ever get to experience this trail like that again. So for that, I'm grateful. I got spider webs all in my head. Jeez. I'll point the camera at the ground, at the leaves, and transition up the hill. Just trying to make a good video here. I mean, in my opinion, Mineral Springs, this is your best asset that you guys have. This is amazing. That would be a good little place for a fairy to pop out and say hello. Just saying. I was just thinking about, what's the best way that I can describe what I think, God or the universe or the spirit or whatever you want to call it. What's the best way that I can describe what I think that is? So imagine if you were, in the belly of a bear that had eaten a berry that was your entire universe. And you were simply living out your life inside that bear's stomach until it had fully digested you and your universe completely erupted around you and started over. But then you asked yourself, well, what ate the bear? And then what ate the bear that ate the bear? And that conundrum, that loop that you find yourself in, that never-ending, infinite, thought pattern that you end up falling into, that's what I consider God. Whoa. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. We fell. Hold on. We had a little slip, and this is the culprit. I didn't quite realize that it was, going to be so muddy. Fortunately, this time we just got a little bit muddy. And, now I'm dirty, but that was all just part of the experience. See, Judy Little rode here. Margaret Cannon sat here. You can too. Well, I pretty much can't ignore that. Really pretty oranges. Maybe it's this fallen tree, but there's like a bubble of just like fresh forest floor smell going on around me here. Well, one thing I know is we're going uphill. I can tell by the pain in my calves. So I'm going to continue following the yellow trail back this way. Once you learn to choose the better path, because you know what feeling feels the best to you, man, I mean, you've won the game of life at that point. I always felt like I was analyzing everything. Every time I would, be in a situation or more specifically thinking about an upcoming situation, my mind would be moving, a million miles an hour, and I would have, just thoughts, just a constant barrage of thoughts streaming through my head with every possible outcome, or at least what I, could gather would be every possible outcome. And the idea, I guess, was to keep myself safe. I thought that by analyzing the environment like that, I was always making the best decision. And it caused physical pains in my body. I was anxious all the time. I found myself sort of locked in a cage in my life. Through meditation, I learned to observe those thoughts. I learned to focus my superpowers in a more positive way. It's completely changed my life in ways that my previous mind could never have even imagined were possible or were something that I wanted. or at the end of the trail. So again, Mineral Springs, North Carolina. It's called the Mineral Springs Greenway. That's a little piece of property that we enjoyed today. I appreciate you coming on this walk with me. I usually like to end these videos by saying to get on Google, find a nature preserve, to find this place, I Googled trails near me on Google, and a whole list of different options pulled up. You can have these same sort of magical experiences that I do.